Going live, going live, going live, going live. Did it work? Did it work? Nobody knows. Don't know if my sound works. I could check though. Hello, hello. Welcome to Slow Flow Sunday with Leah in the Healing Arts Center and Community. Thank you so much for being here. Hope everybody has had a great weekend. We are going to do all kinds of fun stuff today. We're going to work on today's focus on fluidity and floating in our movements and flowy stuff in that vein. I'm seeing if I'm live. Just checking to see if it's working and if the sound is working. Okay, it's working. Sorry, thank you for understanding. We're starting standing, so go ahead and stand up, finding a nice, comfortable standing position, checking in with your feet. Just kind of wiggle your toes a little, grounding down, draw up through your arches, press down through your toes, soften your knees. Exhale. Relax through the shoulders, wiggle your fingers. And let's set the intention today to be present, to be on our mat, to be in our flow. To kind of melt into the practice, whether it feels uncomfortable or different or just whatever it is, just kind of melt into that and be where you're at. Okay, now we're going to do a little rebounding. So come up off your heels. So just off my heels. I'm not up high, just barely. Little bouncing. I'm not holding my arms at all. So I really can hear my shoulder joints kind of popping a little bit because they're just totally shaking. Letting it all shake out. Kind of wishing I'd put a sports bra on now, but that's okay. Now we're going to add in a little bit of a twist. So take a little space between your feet and we're going to switch from one side to the other and sway, flow. Again, I have no tension in my arms whatsoever. This is all centrifugal force. Just switching weight from one foot to the other and letting the body flow around from one side to the other, feeling it when your hands tap, tap, and tap. Coming back to center, slowly, letting it all kind of just gradually on its own stop. Ground back down into your mountain, close your eyes, or just cast your gaze downward and notice how your body feels. Notice if you can feel the prana moving, feeling yourself starting to wake up, starting to come alive. Now we're going to inhale, float the arms up out to the side. Again, really float here and see that you can keep them in your peripheral vision. Inhaling up, exhale, float them back down. Let them go as far apart as you can while still maintaining you can see your hands in your peripheral vision. Inhaling up. Maybe you can go a little farther apart. Can you still see your hands in your peripheral vision? Inhale up. Exhale down. Now we're going to shift our weight. Inhale up, shift your weight to your toes. Maybe lift off your heels. Exhale down. You can still see your hands in your peripheral vision. Check in with that. Inhale, floating up. You don't have to go real high here. My heels are barely off the ground. And back down. One more time. And then we add something else. Woo, making it fun. And exhale down. Okay, we're going to do that again. This time as you inhale up, stop one hand halfway. Let the other hand keep going. As you exhale, bring that hand that went all the way up down, pick up that first hand and bring it down together. Switch sides. Inhale, this time the other hand stops. Halfway up. And then as the hand that went all the way up comes down, it kind of picks up that first hand on its way back to the first side. Very nice. We're going to do it a little bit different here in a second, so play around with this. We're going to do one more time on each side after this one. This is our nervous system integrating both sides of the brain. So one hand is totally still while the other hand comes down and picks that hand up, and they go together. They move at the same rate coming up. One stops halfway while the other one keeps going. And then the one that goes all the way up picks that other one up, and they go at the same rate. Take a pause here because we're going to do that again, but we're going to do it a little bit different. So take a pause. Notice how you feel. Notice how your feet feel, your leg muscles. Notice how your spine feels, just holding you upright. Notice your shoulders. Okay, so we're going to do that same thing where one arm goes halfway and one arm goes all the way. But this time, instead of both of them floating together, they're going to take the same amount of time to get to their final destination. So the one that's going halfway will have to move much slower, while the one going all the way will have to move much faster. Does that make sense? Okay, let's give it a try. Go ahead and relax into it. Okay. On your next inhale, float your arms up. One goes halfway, one goes all the way. Come up on your toes. If you feel like it, exhale, they come all the way down. Switch. Now one goes halfway, one goes all the way. And back down. How's that feel? Inhale up. Exhale down. Notice how it feels to have one arm has to move so much faster. It's almost like it has to rush at the end to get there at the same time. Last round. And all the way down. Inhaling up. And exhale down. Very good. Go ahead and pause. Notice how that feels. Really tune into your hands here. You feel a little bit of tingling sensations. A lot of energy moves through the hands and the fingers with elevation changes. I'm sorry, I need water. Now we're going to step into our warrior one feet. So I'll show you from the front. We're in our mountain. Step 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. They are train tracked. Hips are facing forward. When you look at it from the side, it looks like this. Hips are facing forward, okay? So let's take, I have my left leg in front. It doesn't matter which leg. We're going to do both of them. So whichever one's in front, take that hand and put it on the hip. And on your inhale, you're going to soften the front knee and float the other arm out to the side and all the way up. And exhale down. Again, checking that peripheral vision, making sure you can see your hand, okay? Inhale up and exhale down. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see that the bend in my knee is very slight. It's really not about going super deep here. It's about keeping it small and subtle, because that will change your nervous system as you bring things that were once unconscious into the unconscious. This is our last one. We're going to hold here. Inhale, reach that arm up. Exhale, draw it back into a cactus arm. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, cactus arm. My front leg is still bent. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus arm. Inhale, reach up. This time as you exhale, straighten that front leg and hinge at the hips. Inhale up, bend the front knee to come back to that warrior one. Exhale, hinge and over. I'll turn sideways so you can see. Inhale, back up. Exhale. Inhaling up. And exhale over. We'll go ahead and stay in our forward fold here. So you might be here with your hands just on your front knee, maybe your shin. Option here also to grab some blocks on either side of the foot. And just soften into this forward fold. Really open up that front leg's hamstring. On your next inhale, soften the front knee, cactus arm, both arms, and inhale, floating all the way up. And exhale to step together. How's that? Ooh, I'm crunchy today. That's nice. Kind of pause here and notice how it feels from one side to the other. Notice how it feels in your head after a forward fold. Sometimes that elevation change can, I don't know, flushing or just that prana energy. We're really just noticing how it feels after each movement. So switching legs, the other foot goes in front. Take that same hand and put it on the hip. Inhale, arm floats out to the side. Soften the front knee. Exhale down. Inhale, floats it up. Exhale down. Nice and floaty. Inhale, floating up. Exhale down. Inhale, float it up. Hold here. Inhale, reach. Exhale to cactus arm. Inhale to reach. Exhale, cactus arm. Inhale, reach. That front leg is still bent. Exhale, cactus arm. Inhale to reach. Exhale, this time we straighten that front leg and fold forward. Inhaling back up. Exhale, fold forward. See, I forgot to bend my front leg that time. That's fun. Inhale, float it up. Bend the front knee and exhale down. You're just returning to that original position, that warrior one pose here. And then exhale, this time we will hold, bring both arms down. And again, you could be here. You could have blocks to support you. Wherever you are at, just relax into this forward fold, into this hamstring stretch. On your next inhale, soften your front knee, cactus arms all the way up. Reach and exhale. Step it together, taking a pause. During this pause, notice how your one side feels compared to the other. Maybe you feel evened out. Maybe it's really highlighted something for you that needs some attention. Maybe it just feels nice stretching out your hamstrings. Okay, now staying with that floaty theme, we're going to stay in our mountain pose. Inhale, float the arms up to a cactus. And exhale, keep your cactus arms forward fold. Inhale, float back up. Elbows lead the way so your hands can be floaty. Exhale, forward fold. Really draw the belly in to hinge at the hips. Inhale, press down through the heels to come up. Exhale, draw the belly in. Soften your knees a little bit. Inhale to come up. And exhale, forward fold. And we'll stay again using a block. Maybe your hands are on your knees or your shins, or a block on the ground. And just allow yourself to relax
Your knees can be slightly bent if that feels better, but be pressing them into straightening them gradually and gently. On your next inhale, soften your knees, elbows lead, floating all the way back up into our cactus arms. And as you exhale, soften your knees, sit your booty back into chair. Just a small chair. Weights over your heels, belly's drawing in, tailbone is turned down. Hands in cactus arms just for a moment. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, float the hands back down. Take a little pause. Notice your quads, notice your hamstrings. Notice how your hands feel, how your head feels. All right, we're going to step our feet wide and prepare for a warrior two flow. So how this is different than warrior one is our hips are going to stay open to one direction. So step your feet wide, turn one set of toes out and the other set in just slightly. Look down, see if that heel lines up with the arch of the back foot. This is your front leg, the one that's facing out. So that's going to be the one that bends as we go into our warrior two. Take your hands to your heart. On your next inhale, soften the front knee. Float the arms out to a T. Exhale, float them back into your heart center. Try to switch which hand was on top. Inhale, float them out to a T. Exhale, back in. Really imagine yourself drawing in with each exhale the love of the universe right into your heart center. Inhale, float. Small is better here. And we're going to stay. Inhale, float out into warrior two and pause here. Just hold this posture as you inhale. Think about reaching through the crown of the head, reaching the fingertips apart, and exhaling to draw the belly in. Keep driving that knee out over those front toes. Inhale here. Exhale, bring the hands back to heart center. Turn your toes back to the front. Let your hands come down. Take a little pause. Noticing the fingers. Noticing the insides and the outsides of the thighs, the adductors and the adductors. Noticing the glutes maybe fired up a little bit. Now we're going to go the other direction. So whichever toes were not turned out before, turn that side out. Make sure your hips are nice and open and that front heel is lining up with the arch of the back foot. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Just placing your hands right over your heart. One hand on top of the other. Doesn't matter which one because you know we're going to switch them. And on your next inhale, float the arms out, soften the front knee. Exhale, bringing it back in. Again, drawing all that universal love and with it. Maybe if you can, switching which hand goes on top. Inhaling out. And exhaling back in. One more time and then we'll hold it. Last one. And just hold here. Inhaling, notice that reach and that length in the spine. Exhale, draw the belly in. Inhale. Exhale, return to center. You can keep your hands over your heart or just take them down by your side, whatever feels better. And just notice how your body feels. Okay, taking your hands down with if they weren't already. Now we're going to do that thing we did at the beginning where we float our arms up. One comes all the way up, one goes halfway up. The one that goes all the way up, we're going to hinge at the hips when we exhale and bring that one all the way across to the opposite foot. Then we're going to switch sides and do the opposite foot, opposite hand, okay? So the one that goes halfway up is going to stay up and reach up behind you. And then when you come back up, that one will go all the way up while the other one will go halfway. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, and it'll be easier once we start to do it. And we're going to flow through that several times. So get ready. Inhale, float your arms up. One will go all the way while one stops halfway. Exhale, hinge at the hips, soften the knees, bring the top arm all the way across to touch the opposite leg. You could go knee, shin, ankle, and the hand that went halfway reaches up for the ceiling behind you. Inhale, come all the way up. Float the hand that was halfway all the way, and the other hand comes to that halfway point. Exhale, hinge at the hips. The top arm comes all the way across. The back arm reaches up for the ceiling. Inhale, switching sides. The one that was halfway up is now going to go all the way up. I think you got it now. Exhale, over. Inhale, switch. Exhale, over. Remember, float, flowy, like you're in the water. So it's nice and slow and gentle. And you can't really do it wrong as long as you're being gentle with yourself and going to however far you naturally go. Let's do one more round each side. Fun, right? Brain power. Exhaling down. This time, just bring both arms all the way up. And exhale, float them down, watching them in the peripheral. And pause. Noticing how your body feels. Noticing how your nervous system feels. Did that feel uncomfortable? Did that feel awkward? If so, did you overcome it? Did it remain a challenge? There's no right or wrong here. It's all just notice. Notice how your hips feel. Notice how your spine feels. Inhale, floating up, cactus arms. Exhale, floating down, forward fold. Sweep your hands down to the floor. And inhale, draw back up, elbows lead, cactus arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up, cactus arms. Exhale, down. Inhaling up. And exhale, this time we'll stay in our forward fold. Just a moment. Relaxing, letting gravity draw you down. Noticing how the body feels. Bringing those elbows out on your next inhale, float all the way back up. And exhale, hands come down. You can heel toe your feet together. Take a little pause. Notice how it feels. And we're going to rebound again. So just kind of shake through all of that movement. Let it all come off.
Just a little bit. Maybe roll out the shoulders. I'm barely up off my heels. Rebounding. So good for the lymphatic system. You could do this every day for like 5 to 15 minutes. Oh, I mean, it's nice when you have one of those little mini trampolines, but if you don't, this works too. Okay, I'm going to take a drink of water. Always hydration breaks allowed. For this next part, I'm going to turn sideways. We're going to do our warrior one feet again. So just stepping 1 foot forward. Remember, staying hips facing forward. We're on our train tracks here, not a tightrope. And we're going to inhale. Both arms are going to float up to the side. Let me do one facing forward so you can see the arms. Inhale, float the arms up. And exhale, float the hands down. This and watching the hands in the peripheral. Inhale, float them up. Exhale down. Straighten the leg as you exhale. Bend on the inhale. Exhale down. 2 more times. And then we'll hold. And exhale here. Inhaling here and exhaling here. Now we're going to play with warrior 3. Okay, so what you do here is on your inhale, you're going to reach up, shift your weight to your front foot, come off your back heel, reach your hands forward. Exhale back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up, and we're going to hold here. Exhale, stay. This time, play with lifting your back foot and straighten your front leg. And you might come back down. You might keep it up. You might even come all the way down, but even this is fine. If you're just playing around with it, just trying to get that leg up. Inhale here. Exhale, bend the front knee. Come all the way back to warrior 1. Inhale and exhale. Step together. Taking a little pause here. Notice how that felt for you. Maybe it was a challenge and you felt super easy. Hopefully it was fun because we're going to do the other side. Noticing your muscles. And if your shoulders are starting to get a little bit cranky, they're just tired of all this arm floating, you can go to cactus arms instead of all the way up, and that will alleviate some of that. So stepping the other foot forward in our train tracks here, hips are nice and forward. Inhale, float the arms to the side. And exhale back down. Remember to see your hands in your peripheral vision. Inhaling to float up. Exhaling to come back. 2 more times. And last one we hold. And staying here. Taking a couple breaths. Now you know it's coming. This time as you inhale, shift your weight forward, come up off the back heel. Just take it slow. Even if you're like super duper yogi and you can pop right into warrior 3, just take it nice and slow and feel this. How does that feel? What muscles are you using? Exhaling back. Inhale here and hold. And then inhale, lift the back leg. And maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. You're kind of in between here. Play around with it. See where you're at. And maybe you can come all the way down. Wherever you're at, fight for it.
Take a nice deep inhale. Ooh. And exhale back down. Inhale here. And exhale back together. Whew. Stumbled out of it at the end there. Still fun. It is such a beautiful day outside here. I have the window open. I can hear the birds. I have my shamanic drumming Spotify playlist on. Beautiful day to have this practice. Noticing how your body feels after all of that. And we're going to come down now. So coming down to all fours. There. Oh, I rearranged my stuff in my room. So my blankets were on the other side. I like to put a blanket under my knees for extra padding. So that's optional. You could also put a folded blanket underneath your hands as long as it doesn't cause sliding. And finding ourselves in our 4-point stance. I always feel like the angle is really bad when I do this. Maybe it's because I'm trying to look backwards. You want your wrists, generally speaking, underneath your shoulders, knees generally under your hips. Take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale, draw the navel up towards the spine. Draw the pubic bone up towards the navel. Shoulder blades slide down the back. As you find this nice, strong core, hold here. Take your breath into your rib cage and keep your pelvis in this flat position. Tops of the feet are nice and flat on the mat behind you. Inhale, slide slightly forward, lift the head, lift the chest. Exhale back. Bring your hips down. Lower your elbows, lower your head. Inhale, slide all the way back up. Lift your head, lift your chest. Tuck your toes under and exhale. Lift the hips back into down dog. Inhale, knees come down. And exhale. Down. My children are trying to get into the room. Inhale, lift the head, lift the chest. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, all the way back into down dog. Bring the knees down. Untuck the toes. Inhale, lift the head, lift the chest. And exhale back down into child's pose. Inhale, come back up. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, lift into down dog. And we're going to pause here. Yes, that's fine. There's money in my purse, baby. But hey, get me mine. Andrew knows what I want. Nuts, yes. I love it. Sorry about that. The ice cream truck is here. Another couple of breaths here, just holding gently in your downward dog, curling the sits bones towards the ceiling, belly towards the thighs. On your next inhale, bring the knees down, untuck the toes, lift the head, lift the chest. And exhale, draw the hips back, elbows, hips, and forehead. And then stay in your child's pose. You can make adjustments as needed for child's pose. Take your knees apart, bring your hands up underneath your forehead. You could grab a block for under your head. You could even take your arms back behind you. You could even not stay in child's pose. If this is, I have some clients who they don't fold this way. So if you need to sit up and you need to come into an easy seated or a hero's pose, that's fine too. Just take a moment and notice how your body feels. Notice how it feels to reach that down dog posture towards the middle to the end of a practice after all that warming up versus what it feels like towards the beginning. So your legs were nice and warmed up. Notice how they feel now. And then we're going to lay on our bellies. Okay, bring your hands. Let's do this. Let's just lay here for a second. Crossing your arms up underneath your forehead. Lay your forehead down and let your hips settle in. Start to think on your exhales about pulling that pubic bone down, driving your hips down towards the floor, down towards the earth. And then we're going to reach our arms out in front of us. So you want your hands aligned with your shoulders. We're not going out to a V. Turn your forehead down. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, lift the head, and you're going to lift one hand, draw it back into a cactus arm, and lift the opposite foot. Exhale, reach back. Okay? Then we'll switch. So inhale, lift the head, lift the right foot, bring the left arm back into cactus. Exhale, reach the hand back out, lower the leg. Inhale, right arm cactus, left leg lifts, and you don't have to go real high here. Exhale down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale down. Inhale, right arm, left leg. Exhale down. One more round each side. Exhale down. Inhale, lift, right arm, left leg. And exhale down. Now we're going to do both sides. Inhale, lift both legs, lift both arms. Option here to modify would be to not do the legs and just lift and bring the elbows back. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. And hold. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. So we're not going down on our exhales. It's just a little bit of a lowering. And then inhale, maybe lift a little higher. Exhale down. Soften. Inhale, lift a little higher. And then this time, come all the way down. And you can cross your arms up underneath your forehead. And you can sway your hips from side to side. Take a moment. And notice how your back feels. Notice how your spine feels. Notice your shoulders. Notice your glutes. And then flip right over onto your back. Oh, woo, that is awesome. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. Take a couple of moments here, settle in. Then bring your knees up toward your chest. Inhale, open. Exhale, draw the knees in. Knees can be together or apart. Inhale, open. Exhale, knees come in. Inhale. And exhale. I locked that door. They found the key. And exhaling. Sacrifices must be made for ice cream. Okay. Inhale. Find this comfortable place where your knees are gently settled away from the body. And we're going to take our hands off of our knees and place them down by our side. Okay. Now, for this next practice, it's more about the movement and the nervous system balancing that comes from it. So don't stress over making sure that everything is going full length, straighten legs and all that stuff. It's really not about that. So what we're going to do, we're just going to start. So what you're going to do is inhale, float the right arm up, float the left toes up, reach towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend that knee and float the arm back down. Switch sides. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Reach the toes towards the ceiling and exhale back down. Now, if you can't straighten your leg all the way, that's okay. If you just come to like right here, that's totally fine. Exhale down. Inhale, left arm, right foot. Exhale down. Again, this is more about the brain activity, the exercise of the nervous system than it is about trying to lengthen out through the hamstrings. We already did that. We covered it. So it's okay now. Exhale down. Let's do one more round. Inhale. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Now just to kind of center everything out, do both. Both arms, both feet. Yeah. Exhale down. Inhale, float. Nice and floaty. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale. And exhale down. Place your feet on the mat. Knees are still bent up towards the ceiling and just pause. Notice how that feels in your body and in your nervous system. Okay, excellent. Now we're going to do our bridge flow, and we're going to do the same arm thing that we've been kind of doing through all of our practice. We're going to float both arms up. One arm is going to stop halfway while the other one goes all the way. Then it's going to float back down, pick up that one, and bring it all the way back down. We're just going to do it that way for bridge practice. We're not going to do the thing where we try to make them both reach at the same time. We're just going to do it where they both go together and one stops, okay? So prepare for bridge. So you want to make sure that all four corners of your feet are connected to the floor. Your heels are lined up nicely with your sits bones. And your palms are down by your hips. Pulling your fingers down towards your heels. So your shoulders are up out of your ears, down out of your ears, whatever. And press through your feet. Inhale, float the hips up. Float the hands up. Left hand stops, right arm keeps going. Back of the hand touches the floor behind you. Exhale, float the right arm down. Pick up the left arm and bring the hips all the way back down. Yeah? Inhale, both hands, hips lift. Right arm stops, left arm keeps going. Back of the hand taps the floor behind you. Exhale, bring that left arm, pick up the right arm, and float hands and hips all the way down. Inhale, back to the first side. Lift both arms up. Right arm keeps going, left hand stops. Hips stay lifted. Exhale, right hand picks up left hand, and everything comes back down. Inhale, floats it all up. Right hand stop, left hand keeps going. Exhale, left hand picks up the right hand, and they all float down. Let's do one more time each side. Inhale, floats it up. Right hand keeps going. Exhale, brings it back down. Inhale, floats it up. And exhale, brings it back down. Now just bring both arms up. Lift the hips. Both hands come all the way back. Exhale, bring them all the way back down. Inhale, lift the hips. Both arms come all the way back. And exhale, floats it all the way back down. One more time. And exhale down. When you get back down to your ending pose, you can go ahead and bring your knees up to your chest. And if you need to rock and roll out a little bit here, play around with it. Maybe you need to rock from side to side. rolling across the sacrum. So nice. And we're going to bring the bottoms of our feet together and lay them down. And you can take some blocks up underneath your legs here, or folded blankets, folded towels, something like that, to prop your legs up so that they're not hanging in midair. We're utilizing gravity here, but it also, it doesn't help, it strains them more when they're just hanging. Or if you give them some support, they'll feel like they can kind of soften and rest and really let gravity do its thing. So bottoms of the feet together. Taking our hands, making our triangle mudra. So the thumbs and the four fingers come together. Turning it down so the fingertips face towards the top of the pubic bone and the thumbs rest just underneath the navel. Close your eyes. Keep bringing your shoulders down away from your ears. Making sure that your bottoms of your feet are touching. It's okay if they fall apart just a little bit. Just take a few moments here to kind of settle in. Might take some shifting, maybe lengthening out the spine. And of course, as always, if this is really uncomfortable or straining you in any way, don't stay in this posture. And as you close your eyes and settle in, start to bring your awareness into your breath. Feel your hands rise with your inhale and fall with your exhale. Bringing back that feeling of floating, letting your hands rest, letting go of all the tension you're holding, and letting them just ride the waves of your breath, float on your belly. Now, you can if this is comfortable enough for you to totally relax your body. If you're just done with the butterfly legs, you can gently bring your knees back up and together. Take a couple of Appanasanas, knees to chest here. Roll it out, whatever you need to do, and then just take your legs long on the mat. If you have any low back stuff that's bothering you, you can grab a big cushion, tuck it up underneath your knees. That'll alleviate a lot of pressure on the low back. And then turn your palms to face up, down by your hips. So even if you're staying in your butterfly pose, I invite you to turn your palms to face upward. I'm going to sit. You stay laying down. Close your eyes. We're going to initiate a deep sense of rest and relaxation. So starting with your awareness of your feet, noticing how your feet feel, noticing the tops of your feet and the bottoms of your feet, right foot, left foot. Really invite them to release, to let go, and to totally relax. Coming up into your calves and your shins. Sending in that sense of relaxation, that invitation to let go. Your knees, tops of the knees, backs of the knees. One side and then the other.
all the way up into the thighs. Release the quads. Release the hamstrings. Inviting each fiber to soften, to let go, to melt into the mat. Coming up through the pelvis, the hips, the glutes, the low belly, the pelvic floor. Into the belly, below the navel, around the navel, above the navel. Also in your back, through your spine, rising up through that mid back. Coming up into your chest, around your rib cage, into your pectoral muscles. Also all the way up through your back, through your lats, all around your scapula, up into the shoulders. Releasing completely through the shoulders, letting them melt into the mat beneath you. Down each arm. All the way to your fingertips. Noticing if you're holding any tension in your hands and your fingers, and then just letting go. Up into the throat and the back of the neck, in the cervical spine. Releasing any tension in the jaw. Maybe your mouth will hang open. Soften the tongue into the cheeks, the eyes, the eyelids, and the muscles in the eyes as well. Onto the brow and the crown of your head. Letting the whole body release. Taking a quick scan right now to notice if anything tried to catch back into tension and letting it go. Sending in that message of gratitude, that blessing, that feeling of appreciation for your body, for all that it does for you every day. Breathing in and out, heart beating, walking around, holding your head up. So many things that we do with our bodies and happen so unconsciously we just take for granted. So taking this moment to appreciate it. Taking a moment to remind ourselves that there's little in life that we actually have control over besides our breath. And no matter what is going on in the world around you, we can always choose to turn inward and take a deep breath. I invite you to stay in your Shavasana, maybe even allow yourself to fall asleep. Sunday afternoon, just take a rest. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you on Tuesday afternoon or back here next week. Later on, coming up live in the group today, I believe Deepa will be doing a talk in a couple hours. And thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.